What's an invention that's still around today, but has lost sight of its original purpose? Paintball guns. They were originally called paintball markers, and were invented as a way for loggers and park rangers to mark trees for trimming, cutting down, etc. without having to walk up to each tree with spray paint or something. A couple of dudes who were using them started shooting at each other for fun, and paintball as a sport was born. In fact, some people still call them markers to avoid the stigma some associate with the word gun. Electric pen by Edison are now tattoo machines. Play-Doh was supposed to be a wallpaper cleaner originally. Now it serves as a delicious appetizer. Wait, what? Super glue. I think it was originally an instant suture in medkits for soldiers in Vietnam. Cyanocrylate, active ingredient in super glue, is still used as medical glue. You can buy the medical grade stuff on Amazon Edit. Since this is getting so much attention, I feel obligated to post a SAR reminding everyone to thoroughly clean and disinfect your wounds before gluing them shut. My dad is a professional nurse and would always use super glue to close up wounds on the farm in a pinch, but it would sting like hell. I always thought it was a ghetto as hell way of dealing with an injury. But he mentioned to me that the medical grade stuff is chemically identical, but just a little more pure and with a painkiller in it to help with the stinging. He'd use the medical stuff if he could, but considered them interchangeable and the same thing. The best man at a wedding was the best swordsman the groom could afford. If anyone objected to the wedding, the best man would duel him. The honeymoon lasted a whole month after the wedding, where the bride's father would supply the groom with all the mead he could drink. Maybe it's been said already. Coca-Cola and Dr. Pepper were originally marketed as medicine and health tonics. I believe Dr. Pepper's original name was something like Dr. Pepper's Health Elixir. Irn-Bru, a Scottish soft drink popular in the UK, was originally marketed as a health tonic because of the large amount of iron in the drink. In 1949 they had to stop calling it Irn-Bru because of restrictions from the government on what could be marketed as having vitamins or minerals, and it became the legally distinct Irn-Bru. Kleenex. Its original purpose was to act as insulation in gas masks during World War I. After the war, its parent company advertised it as a way to remove mercury. Georgia Mester used to be a cough/cold medicine to help keep mountain climbers in the Alps warm. To be fair, it still can keep you warm and it still tastes like cough/cold medicine. Melisangist has been the bane of many old women's liver. What do you mean? Granny died of cirrhosis. She never drank alcohol, and she always drank a glass of Melisangist for her health. Yeah, hate to break it to you, but Melisangist has about 79% alcohol. She might not have realized it, but she was an alcoholic. Microwave transmitters were originally created to transmit radar signals in World War II. When a worker noticed that being near the transmitter melted a candy bar in his pocket, it led to the development of the microwaves that we use in our homes today. There are several drugs that would make the list. Cocaine and Viagra for sure though. Heroin was originally advertised as an addiction-free alternative to opium. Also Bayer introduced it as a toothache reliever for children in 1898. Bayer also literally invented heroin. They named it heroin, with a capital H as it's a brand name, because of the heroic feeling it gave users in trials. Also, they infected upwards of 20,000 people with HIV, because obeying laws is something that other people do. Laws are for poor people. Hitachi magic wand. It was originally intended as a massager. Hitachi still explicitly sells it as a massager and nothing else. It also gets upset at people claiming it's a sex toy, which is also why they have ceased putting their brand name on it. Hitachi ceased production of the device in 2013 because of concerns about having the company name attached to a sex toy. Vibratex persuaded the company to continue manufacturing it under the name Original Magic Wand, omitting the Hitachi name. In 2014, the company used the name Magic Wand Original. Menstrual pads. They were invented to soak up blood in bullet wounds. After the war, Cossacks had several hundred tons left over and found that nurses had been using them as feminine hygiene. We get the expression being on the rag because, well, women in the 19th century used to do a lot of sewing, and leftover rags or old clothes would get used for cleaning, and the softer ones would be used to soak up menstruation. Around the end of the century, companies started selling cloth pads. The Cossacks ones I mentioned were evolutionary because they were meant to be disposable rather than washed and reused. Go back further, and we don't really know. There isn't a lot of writing by women that has survived, and men didn't care to mention it much other than demands for ritual bathing or herbs to keep the smell away. It's likely they did the same, but that's just an educated guess. Women in China had sand packed into cloth to soak up the blood. Would have been extremely uncomfortable but pretty absorbent. The sand would be thrown out, and the cloth would be washed to use again. The dashboard. Originally it was a literal board of wood used to protect people from mud and debris from when their horse-drawn whatever would travel at gallop speeds. Now it gives me information about my vehicle's current state and provides audio entertainment. High-heeled shoes. They were originally for men and used for horse riding, as the heels were supposed to keep the feet more secure in the stirrups. Now, they are just fancy women's shoes, also used by butchers, so they didn't stand in blood. For every pipe cleaner that actually cleans a pipe, 500,000 get twisted into children's art projects. Duct tape, meant to cover holes in ammo boxes, so the ammo doesn't get wet.